Welcome back to Confronting Shoggoth Part 3. Let's see where we're at. So we finished the hair and a bit of the body. I think I would like to work on this jellyfish today. Hello. Just checking that everything's working. Seems to be working. There we go. It's just going to get in the way a bit. I actually set up a really nice brush for another thing I've been working on, but it didn't seem to have copied over, weirdly. Didn't know they could do that. What happens if I do that? Well, no. Well, let's fix that while we are here. Don't need you. How are you? How is everyone? $60. Whoa. It's too many, man. Well, let's make a new one. Shoggoth. The blood brush hates me. Hey. Okay. Hope everyone's had a good weekend. I played a gig last night. Well, yeah, quite early really, 6:30. Earlier than usual. And I was like outside in the middle of the street in January. I don't understand. But there was one very small fire pit about a foot across, a foot and a half, maybe 2. If we're being generous. think I want slightly bigger blob. Yeah. But it was an okay gig. It was a bit, I would say I was probably playing my C or D game. Certainly didn't bring it on the drums. I couldn't hear anything, so I couldn't really play much. There were no mistakes. Just didn't play anything particularly interesting. But there's always next time. Today I was back in the rehearsal room this morning, just playing drums on my own for a couple of hours, then rushed back here to get on this stream. Friday, I think I spent about 12 hours making and editing Wednesday's video. It's very short still. I mean, it's a short video, but there was plenty of editing and like random bits of filming involved. So I hope you bloody like it. And there is a guest cameo in it. How much wildly different do these... Well, that's fine. Not sure if it's the wisest idea to change brushes halfway through, but I think it probably doesn't matter. It probably won't even be noticeable. They do the same thing. I just don't want to make some of the lines way too thin. Oh, my hand's all wibbly. For the rest of the day, I am going to finish that video. Then I've got a Japanese lesson this evening. I'm looking forward to. I do it every 2 weeks with my best friend, the guy who made the intro animation for EchoNova. What is going on here? This needs to be a completely different angle, doesn't it? Alright, you can be bigger for sure. I will get to you. But yeah, even though we usually do them every 2 weeks because it was Christmas and stuff, there was a couple of missed ones. And then on one of them we just played Portal 2. which was fun. Not Japanese though. Could have probably played it in Japanese. It's not a bad idea. So it goes through there. That goes behind and comes out there. I did this so long ago. Just can't remember where all these little bits go. I also just copied and pasted and flipped the other one. So they're the same. So I left that to later me. Now later me regrets it. Not really. Be fine. What? How? So I did, Illustrator kept crashing before. The last two streams, 2 or 3 or whatever. And I thought it was just because I haven't updated it in a long time. Like a long time. But it wasn't that. I updated it. And it still happened. But then I checked and unchecked something. I think just something in devices. And then I don't know why. But sometimes computers do that. Spent a good couple of hours yesterday just trying to get the PA to work. Nothing was labelled normally. And I pushed this button a few times. And then PJ pushed the button a few times. Then PJ went back and pushed the button again. And somehow, that time it just worked. This isn't to turn it on or anything. I think this was to get sound to the monitor, or like we got the vocals working coming out the front, and then they stopped doing that for some reason. So I had to get them to do that again. Yeah, the monitor didn't work. Nothing worked. I mean, we turned up and we didn't even know where we were going. There was no like band area, no place to set up, no stage, just a street. Yeah, set up anywhere. Oh, okay. It's cold. So we were going to set up in the middle of the street, but then we unscrewed a door from a random shop. And then I set up the drums inside this shop. We sort of just played outside, half of us inside, half of us outside. It worked. I mean, it worked enough. A reminder that inking this illustration is a exercise in not being too precious, not taking too long over every little line, making it all perfect. But weird mistakes can be erased. This is so bad. Problem with doing it like this is because I made this sketch with the idea that I'd be using the pen tool to ink it, so I could neaten it up then. So I shouldn't follow these. Shouldn't follow these exactly. Whatever they're tendrils or tentacles, they don't have to be neat. It's just going to bulge there. When I did that poster for the Deep Frog gig, the one that's on my wall, the one with the lady like this, and she's got like the owl eyes behind her. When I did that, the guy who owns and runs or co-owns, him and his wife own our gym, the jiu-jitsu gym, place I train. He is also an artist, a very good artist. And I remember him asking me the most excellent and like relevant question that only an artist would ask another artist. He said, "How long did that take you to do?" But like, not like, "How long did that take you?" Like genuine interest of how long something like that takes. I don't know what I said. Can't remember. Probably a couple of weeks. A week. Don't know. That one didn't take me too long, really. In fact, I think everything since then has taken 10 times longer. I don't know why it keeps doing little blobs at the end. Oh, actually, that might have been me. was me, that one. Sometimes it does like a random massive circle. I think it might just be better to go all the way through here. But yeah, I liked that question. Apologies, I'm not talking very much. Didn't get much sleep. It's been a long weekend and I'm very tired, and this is a chill stream. It's time for us to relax. If you're working on a project like this while you watch it, tag me in it on Instagram. I would like to see it. The other illustration I've been working on is I created a character. I think maybe me and my partner created it together. She definitely had input. It's a character called Spoon Eyes. It's just a silly character that I drew in a sketchbook project. But I decided to ink it. It's going to be my new band's first poster. I haven't even done our logo yet, but I've already done the first band poster. We also have one song. Well, 1.5. But we're only 2 practices in. So it's not bad, really. Okay, I've made this guy way too skinny. Why are you so wibbly? Just thinking about the Clone Wars animated series. We are pretty deep into it now, probably 4 or 5 seasons. And it's just improving more and more as it goes on. It's excellent. I want to watch it right now. Maybe I'll get a chance while I eat dinner. No anxiety today, which is interesting. No medication, no anxiety. So I think this is the first stream I've done without medication. Which is nice. I have to admit that this would be significantly more pleasurable to ink by hand. I definitely do miss that. But if I went back to traditional inking, I would definitely miss Control Z. And like being able to erase parts. See, I mean, my hand gets. I mean, this tablet is old. My hand sort of drags across it. It's a bit sticky. It's not actually sticky. It's very smooth to the touch. But when you're putting pressure down on your hand, it sort of jolts around. Right. How does this much of the tentacle look? Absolutely fine. Messy and fine. All this like auto smoothing and stuff that's in Illustrator is vital. Because drawing with a stylus is just hell. I'm sure some people are great at it. I did think about getting a Cintiq at one point, but I don't know how much better it would even be. It's hard to tell. Maybe I should go somewhere and try one. Not sure where I would have one, but I look get you in a bit. Not better. Like everything, it comes with its own set of problems. Don't know if you can hear my hand on the tablet. I have a tray in my head, and I think I'm wearing my tray t-shirt, so that's fitting. I don't know what I was trying to achieve there, but it didn't happen. Not sure if I said before, but I've got some dredge marines and a sea grub tank by Mezgeik that I wish to paint on stream, which will be the next series after this. Not sure if I'll start it before I finish this. I think I'd rather finish this first. It's not been fantastic weather to prime either. Need to prime the miniatures outside. I don't even know I've got a can anywhere. Probably do. Or I won't be able to find it, and then I'll buy a brand new one and then find it. Which is probably what I did last time. I have tried using the airbrush, but the primer just doesn't want to go through my airbrush properly. I've tried GW and Vallejo's. Neither of them. Neither of them want to get through it. I got quite a thin airbrush, but even with my 0.2, I think is the 0.2. I don't know. I've got a big nozzle and a small nozzle, and it wouldn't go through either. Not nicely, anyway. I did the same with Vallejo's matte varnish, and that was just a nightmare. But I don't like rattle can varnish. I definitely don't like painting varnish on airbrush. Is so much nicer. Just getting it to flow right. Not sure if you can use flow improver on matte varnish. If you can, I'm gonna. Seems like the kind of thing that needs to come out how it is, though. But I think I'll find that. I think I'll do some research before I start matting another thing. Problem is, some paints are just glossy, or some washes are just glossy. I use Caribou Crimson for just like stain parts, really. Not washing entire models. I don't bathe my models in like Null oil or anything anymore. I don't think I ever did, but maybe when I first tried it. The miracle of Null oil. But it's a very different look I'm going for these days. I say these days. I've only ever finished one model. But I've started plenty. The only model I've ever finished is the Dreadnought by Mezgag as well. You can have a look at it on my Instagram page. Pretty happy with it. But I feel like I can do better. And I think I'm just going to keep doing better. I really enjoy painting. It's just relaxing. It's like the only thing I can do for hours and hours and hours without sort of like looking up. I don't know if I'm happy with this. Let's just do it again. Whatever. Let's start here. Also, I've also got a Pathfinder kill team that desperately wants finishing. And Mezgag's just released like the Mortarian type sort of demon Primarch of the Dredge. I'm not sure what he's actually called it. Prime Lord, maybe? Something like that. And it's awesome. So I have to justify getting that by getting through some of my unfinished ones. Tempted to do an extra stream of just painting. But I don't want to burn myself out, as I'm only just starting, and I am well aware how easy burnout can happen with anything. Like all the guys that start jiu-jitsu go 7 days a week for like 3 or 4 weeks, sometimes even a few months, and you never see them again. Well, you do, but like in like 6 months' time, then they do the same thing again. And this is for fun and an experiment. So I don't want to get burnt out on it. By this, I mean YouTube. Oh my god. Can't keep a line. Start again. I don't know if there's like a feature that erases the locked layer below so you can see, or whether it's just a graphical glitch, but I like it. It's always done it in every version I've had, so I guess it's a feature. It's not a bug. I feel like we're definitely working quicker than last time. Not sure. I definitely make this harder work for myself than it needs to be. Also, to do the stroke without moving my hand on the... Oh no. Moving my hand on the tablet. Oh. A little stretch. And some water. This is your 45 minutes-ish water check. Make sure you are drinking. It's good for you, I think. That's definitely good for you. Although I never feel like worse if I don't drink. I do feel dehydrated. My lips get dry. In my eyes. Like I've had too much salt. Well, I'm pretty sure the only time I had too much salt, I was violently sick. My stomach was like, no, this is not food. It was. I think it was like maybe hangover. Just put too much salt on things. Craving salt. No, I wasn't hungover. Because then I would have attributed the being sick to the hangover. So, must have just been a normal Tuesday of craving salt. Or I just accidentally put too much salt in. I can't remember. And then was like, whatever. It's salty, but I'll eat it. And then my stomach was like, no, thank you. You don't understand what this is. Get it out. And then it was expelled. So I cooked it again and ate it again, just to make sure. Ah, no, I didn't really. That would be grim. I'd quite like this to be perfect, so let's have a go on the pen tool. Blob. Blob. Did I go all the way? Yes. Well, not quite. Okay. Here. What's a similar weight? Well, that's too much, isn't it? 2. 2 was probably fine. Let's go 1.5. 1.75. I like it. No, I've got My Way stuck in my head. Not Limp Bizkit. That's probably not even called My Way, is it? It's just called... let's not think about Limp Bizkit. Sex Pistols, for some reason. I have no idea why. I mean, regrets, I have had a few. But I didn't do it my way. Not as much as I would have liked. So I just didn't want any bumpy bits in this one. I think I want it. That's pleasing to me. Object, expand. No one knows. See, they'll never know. Let's expand everything and glue it together. I don't want it grouped though. I'm happy with that. Just take a quick nicotine break. You shouldn't know if you're quitting. suppose we're coming up to the hour. So we'll take a 5-minute break when we get there. Then we'll probably carry on for half an hour or so after that. Because I don't have much to say today, apparently. I think it's because I'm tired. I didn't sleep very well. And then played drums all morning. And played drums yesterday. Not that yesterday was strenuous. Today I was playing some Mastodon and some Code in Canberra. Working up my single speed. Just single strokes. Because it's something that I've never focused on at all. I'm more of a fusion-y fill, fusion linear fill kind of. That's what I like. Lots of doubles on the kick. In between random rudiments, really. Like the 6-stroke roll with a double kick in it. That's one of my favourites. 6-stroke roll is right, left, left, right, right, left. And then you can add a kick just at the end, so it makes 8 notes, or you can do like right, left, left, kick, kick, left, right, left, left, kick, kick, right, left, left, right, right, left. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's one I like, which is right, left, left, kick, kick, right, left. Yeah, that's one of my favourites. I suppose that's 7 notes. Gotta use that all the time. Try it out. At speed, at decent speed. It's the noise it makes. Yeah, so the new band that I've started, it's definitely, we all love Mastodon, so it's definitely got that vibe. And I wanted to sort of work on my singles to get that Brandaler-y feel. Doesn't have, I'm not going to, you know, I'm still going to play like me. But there's, I mean, there's loads of stuff I've already stolen from Brandaler. Like, just feel. We play in a completely different way, completely different style, but Mastodon's influenced my drumming for sure. But not like the fills. And I'm still going to keep it linear, baby. Add in those kicks and stuff. But I think it's just about filling more, doing more fills. Because he does that a lot. And I tend to use, I'll just like use a slightly different groove as a fill. Quite a lot of the time. Like I'll make the groove a little bit more. Add a couple of notes to the groove or something. I mean, I do obviously use fills as well, but just not as many as Bran. Or Bron. Bran. Sorry, Bran. Too English for your name. Bran. Just sounds wrong. I feel like my line thickness has definitely decreased on this one. Did I do something? Did I change something? I think I'm just not being as heavy-handed. That's the problem with pressure brushes. But I want that variation. I don't know if you can hear that. It's annoying me. Hope you can't hear it. Yeah, you. Talking to you. I've decided to start doing a load of shorts as well. YouTube shorts. Quick tutorials, like 30-second ones. So, filmed a couple of them on Friday as well. So that's like another thing that I want to make sure I don't get burnt out on. Like just general all of the YouTube activities. I thought it'd be a good way to deliver quick bits of information because I hate long tutorials about like super simple things. Like how do I add drop shadow to this object? It's like a 5-minute video and it doesn't need to be more than 20 seconds. So, I mean, I'm sure lots of people also have felt that way and made those videos. There's lots of quick tutorials on YouTube. Not saying everyone is longs out, but lots of people do. So I'll try to answer the questions that haven't already been answered. And also, my friend recently said that he is using Photoshop as part of his job and he doesn't know how to use it. So I'm gonna continue with the sort of basic stuff as well. Because if he can get value from it, that's enough for me. Adobe programs are just so powerful. Sometimes you just have no idea that it can do something until you see it. I saw something the other day. You know, I think it was on background removal, and I've done background removal for years, and I've used various techniques. And this was one I'd never seen before. It was amazing. And I think that was a 30-second or a minute tutorial. It was a short. God, that was good. I don't think it was like a new feature. I think someone had found a series of things that you can do to just make it work really nicely. On hair as well, like complex hair. Because I know they've got, you know, the detect. What I've been using for a couple of years, or yeah, a couple of years, is the detect subject, and then you go in and you can do it afterwards as well, not just in that screen. And use a brush that's like set to multiply or something. I can't even remember. I'd have to rework it out. But it works really well. This method looked even better. Fortunately, I can't actually remember it. It was actually quite complicated. I mean, simple if you're following along, but complicated to remember if you've not actually done it yet. Well, we're past the hour mark, so let's have a quick 5-minute break. See you in a minute. Welcome back. Hope you had a nice wee or whatever. So, I was trying to think of things to talk about, and I really couldn't. So, let's get back to the drawing. I think today my brain is just too tired. Well, that's weird, isn't it? Why are you all weird? Let's just do that again. Acceptable. Maybe I'll talk about other YouTubers. Other YouTubers, whatever. I suppose I'm not a YouTuber, just here. I go to sleep almost every night to Luton or Voldemort's Guide to Warhammer. Getting that sweet Warhammer lore while I sleep. I definitely don't absorb any of it when I'm sleeping, but it's nice to go to sleep too. Sometimes Voldemort is a bit dramatic for sleeping. He's very enthusiastic, but he's still got a very calming voice. Very thorough voice. It's soft and old. It's like gravelly and soft. He's good. Check him out. And Luton must spend so much time researching. And it is appreciated. But yeah, lore videos. I really struggle with listening to American accents, especially when I'm trying to sleep. I guess it's the unfamiliarity of them, or sometimes they're a bit like tonally different to what I'm used to in my everyday life. So I don't know any of the, big American Warhammer lore video guys. I know there's the Remembrancer. I think they're American. I can't even remember. I just stick with my Luton and my Voldemort. They inspire me to paint, for sure. I don't even know how much painting they do. I know Luton showed off his army a couple of times, and I know Voldemort plays games, but I'm not sure how much into the painting is. But like learning about the lore just makes me want to paint. And some of the lore is horrendous, which is awesome. I like the really horrible stuff. It's quite tangible horror. It's not like ghosts and stuff. It's like they're like depths of depravity. Like the Eldari. Or not the Eldari. Are they the Eldari? Did the Elder just become Eldari? Or The Eldari, the Dark Elder. I'm not sure. Let's say Eldari are the Dark Elder, because I'm pretty sure that's right. They have... Well, they live to do horrendous stuff. It's like their whole deal. Some of the like excerpts from books that both of them read. Voldemort like writes his own monologues and stuff and stories and characters. It's very good. I don't think he's talked too much about the horrible stuff. Whoa, see, look, what's with this giant circle thing that just randomly appears? Luton has definitely covered a lot of the horrendous stuff. I don't find too many things disturbing. So it's quite nice when I do. Also, it's fiction, which is much more palatable than real life horrors. Because real life horrors are horrible. I don't think I should get into them. Perhaps another time. This is supposed to be a chilled stream, not a talk about current events stream. So let's stay here. Switch off a bit of our brain. And use this time to relax. Is anyone good at relaxing? Do you do yoga or meditate? I've tried meditation a few times throughout my life, a few different forms. There's an interesting, I think it was Indian in origin type of meditation that Caspian guided me through once, which was really cool. You lay down and you imagine the room filling with water. That's about the extent of what I remember from it, but that was the most interesting one I've done. That was when we were probably 14. But I've really enjoyed that. Perhaps I'll give that one another go. If I can find what it's called. What I find relaxing is activities where I can switch my brain off, or where it's like you're focusing on the thing so much that your brain doesn't wander or think of other things. So like jiu-jitsu, you're very much in the moment at jiu-jitsu. I find that relaxing. It's obviously incredibly strenuous as well, but stuff can be two things, man. And drums, depending on the music. I used to be in this band called Coyote. We were psych rock. I don't know. I guess that's what people called us. We were just dudes in a room playing music that we liked the sound of. I loved that band so much. And it was the kind of music where it was just like big, simple grooves. And I could just batter the drums, just turn off. I just loved playing it so much. think to this day that is still my favourite band that I've been in. Probably because of that. I don't think it's because of the writing so much, because I wasn't particularly involved in the writing and I really enjoy writing. And I think I've probably written better songs since then. I mean, we were kids. I mean, the guy who was writing the songs was 17 maybe when we started. 16 maybe. I think I was 19. And he wrote cool songs. You know, these were great songs. He was a phenomenal bassist, but he was actually playing guitar in that band. He doesn't play instruments anymore, but he is a musician. He just doesn't play traditional instruments. He does, like, I think modular synth stuff, samples, and... But I spoke to him, he said he just doesn't really play guitar or bass anymore. He played guitar in that band. He was I suppose the rhythm guitarist, but he did have a lead guitarist as well. His name was James Page, Jimmy Page, but not the Jimmy Page, but our Jimmy Page. Less of a dark history. Let's leave it at that. And oh, that circle again. And another good friend of mine was on bass, and his fingers didn't work properly, or don't work properly still. His fingers are like fused. I didn't even notice for years. Not all of his fingers are fused, just his baby fingers, I think. So strange, such a strange, like, birth defect. Never seen it before. Really interesting. But, like, he'd play bass with his thumb, like, and it was fine. And he used to do this funny lunge, which was endlessly entertaining. And he'd always, like, put glitter on his face when we played. He's a special dude. We did record an album and never got it mixed. But I have it somewhere, and one day, when I'm better at music production, I will mix it myself. I've tried to get it mixed various times. Well, several people throughout the years have offered to mix it, and it's just always fallen through for some reason. I mean, people are busy. But one day that album will exist. It probably won't exist as an album, actually. Or it will, but it'll be quite short, because I think a couple of the recordings didn't come out that great. But there's a good 5 or 6 tracks on there. Maybe even more. Annoyingly, we wrote a fantastic song just after we recorded that album. And then we broke up, so we never... We did get a chance to play it live once, and there's a recording of half of it, which is probably on my YouTube. Might be on my private YouTube. Not my private, my personal. It's called... I don't know what it's called. Oh, it's called Pew Pew. Do have a demo of it, but it's not me on drums. There's no one on drums. It's just programmed, random, easy, you know, like drums to write guitar riffs to. Guitar riffs. We weren't a very riffy band. It was more like twinkly, Well, yeah, we did have some riffs, I suppose. Yeah, I guess we had like big fuzzy parts. I mean, all our songs were the same format. It's like nice verse, big chorus, nice verse, big chorus, big end, loud bit. But they all worked. Sometimes we did other things. And some of the songs were like vocal driven. Some of them were guitar driven, some of them were rhythm driven. Yep. Rhythm driven. I was in a band called Forever Home, which is the band that I most recently departed from. And they felt like Coyote Part 2. It was instrumental math rock, which is like pretty awesome. But it was like big fuzzy riffs and twinkly bits. But some things don't work out. That's life. But I will always miss these bands. I think the bands that I don't miss are the bands that I probably can't even remember. That's not true. I can definitely remember my first proper band. But I was a kid. I remember looking back at a video of it and thinking, wow. It's the first time I'd seen a video of me playing drums. It's like, wow, I can play drums. And I recently went back and watched that video. And I was like, ooh, it's not great. It's not terrible. I was coming at music from a very different angle than I do now. Yeah, I thought I'd get like a blast of nostalgia, but it was really more of a slight awkward feeling of mild embarrassment. Not necessarily for myself. If I had to say, I would say I felt the least embarrassment for myself. But I was quiet, so. And I'm just behind the drums. You can hide more cringe moments when you're just behind the drums, unless you're playing like particularly cringy part to yourself. Wouldn't be cringy to everyone. Everyone has things on drum. Everyone has like a thing that they don't particularly like. If on whatever instrument, like there's a couple of grooves I will just never play. I've always disliked them. It's probably like the equivalent of those same 3 chords that everyone uses. I'm sure lots of songwriters are like, why does everyone use just these 3 chords? Yeah. Leave a comment. Let me know what you do to relax. Going back to that. I think music and exercise. Pretty relaxing. I'm finding lifting heavy weights, doing powerlifting, finding that pretty relaxing. I mean, you do get a bit dizzy, which is like a panic attack trigger for me. But you don't always get dizzy. And when you don't, it feels pretty relaxing. Not necessarily while you're lifting, I suppose, but just like that atmosphere being around the gym. When it's quiet, there's just a couple of guys in there talking and like doing their thing, trying to improve their lift or whatever. Or like improve an injury like me. I'm not trying to be some massive powerlifter dude. Just trying to improve my back health through controlled lifting. Yeah, it's not me doing these random vlogs. How long is this tentacle? Been going for years. Tell you what, I'll finish this tentacle and then we'll finish. I'll see you next week. Next week, I think I have a gig possibly on the Sunday, so stream maybe on the Saturday. I'll have to have a look. That might not be the next weekend, that might be another weekend, or like in a month's time or something. I have no idea. What's the date? Nah, I think that might be the end of next month. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I will schedule the stream as soon as I know. So I'll be there waiting for you. Who's your favourite comedian? Such a difficult question to answer now. For years, it was always Richard Pryor. And it probably still is, but I haven't watched any of his specials for 10 years. Maybe my sense of humour's changed. I don't know. But I would say Richard Pryor still. Obviously, like Dylan Moran and a couple of the Bill Bailey specials are fantastic. I like most of them. They have different vibes. The first two, Cosmic Jam and I'm not sure what the other one's called. They got really good songs in them. Spiders are not insects, but in the war they will side with the insects. And then there's like a couple that were just alright. And then he did one, I can't remember which one it is. But it was so wildly different. He was so aggressive. And just like, he'd had enough. Had enough of the stupidity of the world. As he goes off on a fantastic rant about a woman that didn't know that the sun and the moon were different things. Just watch it. It's so worth it. I'm gonna sneeze. I didn't wee myself. Human slaves in an insect nation. Ah. A couple of the Ideas Odd ones are great as well. I feel like all of my comedy comes from the same era. Apart from Richard Pryor, obviously. I quite enjoy. I've not actually seen any of his specials. I don't know if he has any specials. I assume he does. I can't remember his name. Jeff something. I always see his like shorts on Facebook, and he's got a good like cheeky, happy face, which improves his delivery, or like aids his delivery. But he has fantastic delivery, and it's all crowd work that I've seen. And it's like the best crowd work I've ever seen. But he makes me smile. He makes me happy, for sure. Seems like a cool, relaxed, very quick-witted guy. And it's not all like tense, intense delivery of jokes like a lot of comedians. That just reminded me of Stuart Lee, although he's not intense, he's like the opposite. But there was a particular Stuart Lee gig. I think it's the one where he's like surrounded by VHS tapes and stuff. I'd never really thought much about Stuart Lee until then, and that special was wonderful. Oh yeah, it's the Brexit bit. Yeah, go watch that bit. It's one of the best deliveries of a punchline ever, and he'll make you wait for a punchline. He will say the same thing 100 times, making you beg for that punchline. And it's worth it. Well, we got about 20% of the jellyfish done. Oh my god, maybe not even that. We'll do like one really long stream at one point, and we'll just settle in for like 4 hours. Or longer. And we'll just get it done. Get it done together. I forgot which bit I was drawing then. The right hand underside. I was also thinking it'd be nice at some point to do like a stream of Caspian. So maybe like he has a really interesting job. Bit of interview about his job. And then we could do a Japanese lesson or play a game. Whichever one he's up for, really, I suppose. Probably doesn't want to be teaching. Can be quite funny though. Japanese is quite a funny language. And like ridiculous. A million ways to say something. But it's also goddamn beautiful. I love it. Even if kanji is moderately infuriating to learn. Just because the sheer amount of it. It's exhausting. I haven't done any in a couple of weeks. I was doing it every week, like learning a new set every week. Like 50 or so characters, but God, I see I got burnt out on that. I just needed a break from learning kanji. And then we did like a really dialogue heavy. I mean, we just ran through some really simple sort of dialogue things last time. And it was just so nice to just actually speak some Japanese instead of stare at kanji until I remember it. Because I'd been doing that for quite a while. Also, English is stupid too. It's not like Japanese is unique in having a million ways to say things. We have our own stupid rules. It's just I know those stupid rules because I've been reading and writing for many, many years. I wish more languages were taught in like schools, younger age as well, not just secondary school. I did French and German in secondary school, GCSE in French and German. Did French in year 9, the GCSE, which is 2 years before any other, before you do your GCSEs. That's when they wanted us to do it. And then we did German for our actual GCSE. Well, the French was an actual GCSE. It was just 2 years early for some reason. They were like calling themselves a language college, and they still only taught French, German, and Spanish, which is what is taught in every school. We had this whole block built. We had all the flags of the country. I remember because we were in year 8, I think, when this block was built, or they were starting to call themselves a language school or whatever. We were like, sweet, we're going to get to learn Japanese. And then, nope, no, you're just going to do your French GCSE 2 years before you're supposed to, and then you have to do German after that. It's like, oh, okay. Kind of wanted to do Japanese, but I guess we'll do that. It was cool, like getting to focus on 2 languages instead of just picking one and then never picking up the others. We sort of got French out the way, learned French, done that. It's like, okay, now we can play around with German, and we don't care whether we actually pass the GCSE because we've already got French. German's actually a really interesting and fun language. It's probably more interesting and fun than French. I think French is just easier, so I went with French first. And I'm not interested in Spanish whatsoever. Lots of people seem to be, but the language just does nothing for me. Everyone always says, I want to learn Spanish. But never had that desire. I think I like quite aggressive sounding languages, like Russian and German and Japanese. They're not always aggressive. German can be very camp and funny. Japanese can be very soft. Not sure about Russian because I've never actually learnt it. I don't even know the Cyrillic alphabet. There was a kid up the road from me when I was a kid. There was another kid up the road from me, up on the estate. I think I had a Nintendo 64. He had a SNES, and then the kid over the road had a Mega Drive. So between us, we sort of had consoles. Or maybe I had a PlayStation 1 or something, I'm not sure. But we had like the consoles covered between us. And I remember going around to his house and he had a computer. We didn't have a computer. He had a computer in his room. And his keyboard was in Russian but had stickers of kanji all over it. Because he was half Russian and half Chinese, I think. Maybe it wasn't that. Maybe it was an English keyboard with Cyrillic taped on it. And maybe he was like, I think he might have been half Portuguese, half Russian. So he spoke English, Russian, and Portuguese. And he was like 2 years younger than me. He was like 6 or something. And I was like 8. Maybe 7 or 8. He spoke 3 languages. Wild. Children brain sponge. Whoa. You lose people like that from your life. Like, I'd never be able to find him as an adult. I moved town. Never be able to find him and be like, man, you're still alive. That's awesome. I suppose some people were in touch with everyone they've ever known. Some people are friends from primary school forever, aren't they? But I moved town between primary school and secondary school. So I'm not in contact with anyone from primary school. It's a shame, really, I suppose. Or is it? I don't know. Are those friendships the same as adult friendships? Probably not. Also, people change and get into different things. When you're kids, you're just playing, aren't you? If I could meet everyone I've ever met, like right now as an adult, I doubt I'd get on with half of them. Or I doubt I'd have much in common with half of them. No, you went a bit too fat there. You went a bit too fat there as well, actually. Let's taper you a bit. Whatever. Alright, I did a little bit more because there's a lot to get through. But yeah. Let's try and find my face. Hope you have a great evening and see you next time. Farewell.